Hello, my friends, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. So John Cena's final match has officially been announced for December 13th at Saturday night's main event. This is what most of us predicted, but it has been officially announced for December 13th on Saturday night's main event. Now, historically, Saturday night's main event has been filled with commercials and commercials and commercials and commercials, and Saturday night's main event was also the host of Goldberg's last match, and we know the sort of fiasco that happened, that he got cut off at the end and Goldberg was pissed and yada yada yada. It obviously won't be like that for John Cena, because John Cena's retirement is way more important than Goldberg's retirement, but it will happen on Saturday night's main event. And we'll see how many commercials there are, what actually happens, but there's a lot of debate on what will be John Cena's final match. Now, Mark Henry recently stated that Joe Hendry should be John Cena's final match, and John Cena should put over Joe Hendry if John Cena really cares about the business. I think at this point, Mark Henry is the worst, the absolute worst wrestling commentator, reaction, whatever you want to call it, post-wrestler to go into, YouTube type stuff and podcasting type stuff. Mark Henry is the worst. First, he's defending Rajah Jackson's actions, which were absolutely despicable and disgusting, and now he's saying someone who hasn't even been on the main roster. Yes, Joe Hendry wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania, thinks that Joe Hendry should be the guy that John Cena puts over in his very last match ever. You know how many people are going to remember that? Everyone. Every wrestling fan on the planet is going to remember what was John Cena's final match, just like they remember Goldberg's final match, and also Goldberg's final match was his best match in 20 years against Gunther. And so Mark Henry just has the worst takes. They're so bad. I don't know why Busted Open still has him on a job or gives him a platform. Maybe because he has outrageous takes and then people like me react to those outrageous takes on their own platforms. But Joe Hendry absolutely should not be the one to have John Cena's final match. Now, like some of us have predicted, like Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth predicted on the same sort of show, that there should be a gauntlet match. That is a fantastic idea. Saturday night's main event is usually 2 hours. So you do the first hour of just, one or two matches, whatever it is. And then the second hour is all John Cena. It's a John Cena gauntlet match. He can go 45 minutes. Then you bring out everyone. You bring out stars of old, stars of new, guys he's never wrestled, guys he's wrestled before, long histories with. We know he's having a match with AJ Styles. So AJ Styles probably doesn't have to be in the gauntlet match. Maybe you have The Miz in the gauntlet match. Maybe you have someone else in the gauntlet match, like all these wrestlers that he's been signing to in his matches, right? The coolest fucking thing that would possibly ever happen is that John Cena comes out for his last entrance ever, and then Edge's music hits, because WWE and AEW struck a deal that allows Edge to wrestle John Cena in his very last match ever, and that is what it is. And of course, I don't know how it ends. Maybe someone comes out and attacks both of them, or maybe it just ends in a draw. Like, it would be weird for John Cena to beat Edge or Edge to beat John Cena. Which promotion would want to make it happen? It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's so far-fetched that it's completely absurd to even think that it might happen. But how fucking cool would that be is if you see John Cena come out for his very last entrance, and then boom, Edge's music hits. He's Edge. He's not like Adam Cope or whatever his name is in AEW. And they have like a really cool professional wrestling match for 20 minutes, and then they have a nice John Cena speech and a send-off, and everyone comes out and there's hugs and there's kisses, and then we ride off into the sunset. That's not going to happen. We're also not going to have Mark Henry's really dumb idea of Joe Hendry being John Cena's last match. Now, I'm all in for Joe Hendry being in the gauntlet match. That sounds awesome. Right? Joe Hendry in the gauntlet match. You also put Carmelo Hayes in the gauntlet match. You put The Miz in the gauntlet match. You put some of these other guys that you put R-Truth in the gauntlet match. And that gauntlet match ends with someone who has a long history with him, probably like a CM Punk, right? Or if you really want to go balls to the wall, you end that gauntlet match with The Rock. That's what you do. You end the gauntlet match with which the gauntlet match with The Rock. You started off with Joe Hendry, then you go to a guy he's faced before, then you go to a new guy he's faced before, a new guy he's faced before, and then he's like 45 minutes later, he's exhausted, everyone's fired up still, and then boom, the final boss, music hits, John Cena doesn't beat him, The Rock beats his ass, that sets something up moving forward with something else about maybe facing Roman Reigns or facing Cody Rhodes later on, or whatever the case may be, or maybe that's also The Rock's final match ever too, but that would be sick. The most far-fetched thing that could possibly ever happen is Edge coming out. The next most far-fetched thing that is ever going to happen is The Rock actually coming out and actually wrestling John Cena. The next thing that's going to happen is like, it's going to be a gauntlet match, but I think that's also a little bit far-fetched. And then the last thing that'll happen is just he'll have a singles match. And I don't know who that singles match should be against. Should it be against The Miz? Should they move that match against AJ Styles to be his final match? Should it be Gunther? Everyone is arguing for Gunther to be his final match, and Gunther retires him. Then in 1 year, Gunther has retired Goldberg and John Cena. And then soon, Gunther will also face Brock Lesnar. They're building up Brock Lesnar as a fucking beast like he is, because Brock Lesnar is a shoot beast, a shoot badass. Maybe to face Obi Femi, right? Maybe to face Gunther, but I think that's what's going to happen. They're trying to also build Gunther up as the guy. And so Gunther retires Goldberg. Gunther then retires John Cena. Then Gunther goes on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42, I believe, Las Vegas, and beats him. And now Gunther has beaten all three of the biggest stars, quote unquote, the biggest guys, the biggest wrestlers, the biggest beasts that WWE has portrayed over the last 10, 20 years in Goldberg and John Cena and Brock Lesnar. And now Gunther as is at the top of the game, and then he doesn't have to wrestle for a championship at WrestleMania 42. You can leave that to Seth Rollins and CM Punk for that title, and Cody Rhodes versus someone else, maybe a Drew McIntyre. I don't potentially know who Cody Rhodes is going to face. I would love to see Cody Rhodes face Randy Orton at WrestleMania for the title, and I'd love to see Seth Rollins, CM Punk for the title, and then you see Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Gunther wins, so in that whole calendar year, he's done all of that. And so those are your options for John Cena's final match, and what I'm thinking about. So, like, most far-fetched is Edge, next is like The Rock, next is like a gauntlet match, next is a gauntlet match where The Rock comes out, then it's like a match with someone like The Miz or a brand new guy, someone they really, really, really want to put over. I guess Mark Henry's point, like Joe Hendry, not John Henry. No one even knows who John Henry is. It's John Cena, but to Mark Henry's point, it's Joe Hendry. Or what I think is most likely going to happen is it's going to be Gunther makes his return, because we know Gunther is out of action right now. He makes his return on December 13th to Saturday Night's Main Event to retire John Cena, getting that big push, moving him into probably WrestleMania season and a WrestleMania match with Brock Lesnar. That's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.